I love being a software engineer, but lately, when it comes to financial freedom, I've been kind of giving up, and I'm often wondering if I would have been better off pursuing a different career. The landscape changed drastically in the last couple of years, and I'm not yet sure where I'll fit in, if at all. My name is Juan Carlos, and I'm an engineer currently working for Microsoft. Today, I'll share my honest advice to anyone looking for financial freedom through a career in tech. Is it actually still possible? Well, I'll kind of spoil it right now. I don't think it is. In the old-fashioned way, at least. This is a topic with many dimensions, so I'll do my best to break it down, and towards the end, I'll share a new path in tech that I think does still lead to financial freedom and is why I'm still optimistic about this career. Apple recently announced their new suite of AI services that will be integrated throughout their platforms. OpenAI only a couple of weeks ago unveiled their latest model that could actually talk back to you naturally like another person would. And there's groundbreaking, game-changing new devices every day like the Rabbit R1 or the Humane AI Pin. Okay, that last one was a stretch, but you get the point. It's paradoxically a really exciting time for technology and at the same time, a kind of unsettling one. Yay, we're creating technology that can do our jobs. During the last couple of decades, we saw huge growth and demand for coding jobs in tech. And for many of us, the monetary opportunities that came with these was a really nice added benefit. And while there's still a lot of money to be made by getting a job in the tech industry, it doesn't look like the trend will continue. Even before AI and the pandemic, we could see a stagnation in salary growth. The increase in salary from 2001 to 2011 was 40% greater than that from 2013 to 2019. Now, if I had a way to exactly predict how this will change with AI, I probably wouldn't be worried about financial freedom. But it's clear that jobs will continue to be taken over by these technologies. If someone asked me today if I would recommend them to go into software engineering for the money, it's not a simple yes anymore. So let's break down the problem into three categories. What the current state of AI tells us about the coding industry, how to play your cards to build a happy and fulfilling career, and our approach to personal finance. Then we'll tie it all together to try and create a path for ourselves that makes sense in 2024 and onwards. I can't possibly try to list out all of the AI-related announcements in the industry in the last couple of months. That really tells you a lot about the pace of this technology. At this point, it's been proven that AI is here to stay, and companies are pouring billions of dollars into research and applications of AI. Two of those that I think are worth mentioning are Devin and GitHub Copilot workspaces. Prior to these tools, AI-assisted coding has been just that. A little help. Saves us some typing. It's a solution to the problem at a pretty zoomed in level. A lot of our responsibilities as software engineers go way beyond writing code. We need to understand architecture, we need to read documentation, we need to keep an eye on the work being done by partner teams, and make a plan on how to integrate with it. Tasks that operate at a much broader and general level. Tools like Devin and GitHub Copilot workspaces are attempting to go one step up in this abstraction ladder. They aim to be able to perform complex tasks that go beyond writing a simple class or writing a function. The plan is to have them perform tasks that involve multiple steps, understand the code in a project at a much higher level, make changes to the codebase, and run and test its changes. It's pretty crazy if you think about it. It's also really cool if my job wasn't so closely threatened by this. That level of operation is definitely starting to get closer to what we would do on any given day as software engineers. And the current advancements are not so scary in of themselves. It's scary to think how fast we got here from the initial AI boom a couple of months ago. Just sticking with this vision is kind of demotivating if what you're aiming for is financial freedom. And if that was the end of it, I certainly wouldn't recommend anyone to start on this career anymore. But there's still some space for strategy here, and it boils down to what we started this section with. All that money that is being poured into the development of AI experiences. That is still a wave we could try to ride, and I'll come back to that in a bit. But first, let's bring into the equation our own personal stake on all of this, our careers. It's pretty much impossible to talk about financial freedom without considering your career choice. It's what you will wake up and go do almost every single day of your life, and it's what will most likely bring in all of the resources needed to achieve that financial freedom at some point. If you're contemplating your future, it's crucial to seek a career that brings genuine fulfillment. Seeking code just for the monetary opportunities, as we've seen, might not be your most strategic move. The paths that lead to money today might not lead to it tomorrow, and the fact that this can change so quickly once you've already spent years pursuing that path is really scary. So on one end of the spectrum, we have pursuing a career merely for the money. And on the other end, there's just plainly pursuing a passion of yours, which is an idea that is often romanticized. But it turns out that that end of the spectrum is also not the best. Turning a passion into a career can lead to dissatisfaction and career instability. There's an awesome book that takes a deep dive into this topic. So good they can't ignore you. In it, Cal Newport offers us a sweet spot in this spectrum, and he calls it the craftsman mindset. It emphasizes what you can offer the world by developing rare and valuable skills on things that you at least find somewhat interesting or enjoyable, what he calls career capital. Accumulating career capital through delivered practice and skill building is what will put you in a position to be well compensated for your work and still find fulfillment doing it. Now, I'm not saying that your career capital shouldn't be code anymore just because of AI. You just have to be aware that the value of that capital will fluctuate, and the more you intrinsically enjoy it, or the more you're able to build unique skills or applications around it, the better positioned you'll be. How we use and manage our money sounds like a technical problem. That's how I used to approach personal finance in the beginning. But I quickly realized that the psychological and emotional side of our finances is way more important and a much harder problem to tackle. The idea of financial freedom does require a technical blueprint or plan for you to follow. But never just jump into this before you have a somewhat decent understanding of your relationship with money and your why. The worst thing you can do is to start following someone else's plan to financial freedom and in the process creating a lot of unhappiness to your current self. Here are some questions I think we should consider first. What do you want your lifestyle to be? What does an ideal day in the life look for you? Where do you want to live? How many vacations per year would you like to have? Working on getting answers to questions like this is what will start shedding some light on your money scripts. These preconceptions around money that are mostly unconscious and inherited from society. A couple of great books I found on these topics are The Psychology of Money and I Will Teach You to Be Rich. These questions will also allow you to start coming up with a number. What will your expenses look like? How much do you need to have readily available every month to cover those expenses? And coming full circle, what career path will allow you to build the resources you require to take that income every month? So how can we bring all of this together in a way that is actionable for us? Well, first you'll need to do some introspection. If you're young and you're only just considering software engineering as a career, make sure you enjoy what you're doing. Find ways to use code in a way that feels meaningful. Use it to solve problems in your own way or to bring your ideas to life. If you're able to find joy in these things, there's absolutely no way you shouldn't consider a career in tech. And if you don't, you can always just keep exploring. Don't pick a career just because you feel like you're behind on some artificial timeline of your career. Next, try to paint a picture of your ideal future. Get some clarity on what it is you want out of life. Financial freedom shouldn't really be the goal, but rather a means to do something that really motivates you. What is it? You don't have to come up with all the answers just now, but having a decent idea that allows you to get a ballpark estimate of what your expenses will look like will be really useful. Lastly, we need to get strategic with our changing industry. AI is here to stay. That much is clear. While you should definitely start learning to code and getting really good in your craft, you want to factor in AI early. Learning to use AI tools is a good starting point, but once you're comfortable enough in your learning journey, start thinking about how AI integrates into software. While big tech software tends to be super broad and generic, there's still a huge amount of tailor-made software for both the general public and for businesses that will eventually need to jump on the AI train. So one model for the career capital that could work for us in this new world is the intersection of three things: our coding craftsmanship, our AI integration expertise, and a third element, domain knowledge over a specific industry or discipline. And almost all industries rely on software now. So this third one still leaves a lot of room for you to play your strengths and pursue your interests. You can strive to create the best financial AI assistants on iOS, or the best AI NPC dialogue engine for video games. You get the idea. With the industry changing so much at such a rapid pace, there's only so much that we can strategize and plan for. What I just shared is the blueprint I'm trying to follow myself to, at the very least, keep up with the industry. There's no way it'll guarantee my job safety in the long run, but I want to be as best positioned as possible to have a valuable set of skills or career capital so that even if the landscape changes drastically again, I'm able to contribute something valuable to the world. This blueprint is really only helpful at a very high level though. The reality is that on my day-to-day, I rarely think about this. I've found that in the short term, it's a lot more useful to focus on the small things that I can control, and that has had a huge impact on my life and my career. So if you have some time, I recommend you go watch my video on my favorite micro habits next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.